to another episode of the Jarring Science Club. I'm your host, Brenda, and today we're going to be making crystals with ammonia and laundry bluing. Here's what you need. Some ammonia, some laundry bluing, some salt, some sponges, some jars, and some water. Here's how you do it. In your bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of ammonia, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of laundry bluing, and 1 tablespoon of salt. Mix this up and then set it aside. Cut your sponge pieces into little squares and fill your jar with them. Pour your bluing mixture over the sponges in your jar. Set this mixture in a dry, cool place and let the crystals grow for several days to several weeks. Over time, your crystal jars are going to blossom in these beautiful structures that just keep growing and growing. These crystals are very delicate, so be very careful when you're exploring them because they will fall apart easily. I let ours grow for about 2 weeks, and this is what they look like. These crystals started as little tiny blooms, just like they are here on the outside of the jar, and then slowly grew and grew over time to make these elaborate structures that started growing vertically. In this jar, all the crystals grew up around the side and made kind of a mushroom shape. It's very interesting how the different mixtures in the jar grew in different ways, but all of them have a much more organic looking texture than our original salt crystals, and that's thanks to the addition of the ammonia and the laundry bluing. You can see how the addition of the bluing really changed the texture of these to make them much more organic looking. Here's the science. These ammonia and bluing crystals are actually just another type of salt crystal, which is a crystal that bonds through ionic bonding. But the addition of the laundry bluing and the ammonia make the crystals grow in a very different way to the crystal shape of our original salt crystals. The bluing helps the crystals grow into like this organic looking material that looks very much like frost or like a mushroom. The ammonia helps the liquid evaporate faster so that your crystals can grow taller. Crystal growing is very interesting because small changes can change how a crystal forms. Even though salt crystals always have a square shape when they're just evaporated from water, when you add the ammonia and you add the bluing, it completely changes how the crystals look. Now that you have all 4 types of your crystals made, let's examine them and see how each of our crystals are alike and are different. These are our bluing crystals. They have this powdery kind of texture that looks very organic. The crystals themselves are very delicate and dissolve into powder almost instantly when you break them. They also have a very soft texture. Bluing crystals are a type of ionic bond, but because the bluing is added in, it makes the bonds a lot more delicate than they are in the typical salt crystal shape. Here are the original salt crystals that we made. These are very hard, very durable, and the only way to really get them to break is by melting them. You can see the very distinct square shape on these, which is a good indication that they are salt crystals. Ionic bonds are usually much stronger than molecular bonds unless they've been adulterated like our bluing crystals. Here are our sugar crystals that we made. Sugar crystals are a type of molecular crystal. They break apart very easily, except these are actually pretty hard. They break apart easier than some other types of bonds. They kind of have the same organic shape to them that the bluing crystals have. But the sugar crystals are formed with a molecular bond. Here are Epsom salt crystals. These started to reform back into a lump, but you can still see some of those distinct spikes that are indicative of the Epsom salt crystal. The Epsom salt crystals have the most unique shape out of all of the crystals and are very sharp and pointy. If you squeeze this, they will fall apart, but they may poke you in the process. That's it for today. See you next time.